Hello dear students, we were reading the chapter Madam Rides the Bus. We have already read the first section of the story and we have read so far there is a girl named Wali Ammai or Wali, and she always watches the things happening outside in the street, standing at her door. It was her favorite pastime, and standing there, the most attractive thing for her was a bus that traveled between the village and the town. Now, every day watching the bus, she wished that one day she would travel to town. She wanted to have a journey by the bus. Now, this wish gradually became stronger and stronger, and she uh, collected all possible information about the bus and the travel and the journey, the distance, the timing, the fare, and she calculated everything. She planned how she can have the bus ride someday. Okay, now moving to the second section. Well, one fine spring day, the afternoon bus was just on the point of leaving the village and turning into the main highway when a small voice was heard shouting, "Stop the bus! Stop the bus!" And a tiny hand was raised commandingly. Means the bus was just about to leave the street one spring afternoon, and suddenly a voice shouted, "Stop, stop!" And a little hand was raised commandingly, impressively, or ordering. The bus slowed down to a crawl, and the conductor, sticking his head out of the door, said, "Hurry then, tell whoever it is to come quickly." So, looking out, taking out his head out of the window, he said, "Whoever it is, just come." "It's me," shouted Wally. "I am the one who has to get in. I want to get in the bus." By now, the bus had come to a stop, and the conductor said, "Oh, really? You don't say so?" "You don't say so?" Means, "Don't tell me you are traveling alone. It's you." "Yes, I simply have to go to town," said Wally, still standing outside the bus. "And here is my money." She showed him some coins she had. "Okay, okay, but first you must get on the bus," said the conductor, and he stretched out a hand to help her so that he could pull her up into the bus. "Never mind," said she, while he said, "No, no, I can get on by myself. You don't have to help me." The conductor was a jolly sort and fond of joking, and so a happy fellow, a jolly fellow he was. "Oh, please don't be angry with me, my fine madam," he said. "Here, have a seat right up there in front. Everybody move side, please. Make way for madam," conductor said in a funny way. It was the slack time of day, and there were only 6 or 7 passengers on the bus. Slack time means the time when there are not many people or not much busyness all around. So during that time, afternoon time, so only 6 7 passengers were there on the bus. They were all looking at Wally and laughing with the conductor. Wally was overcome with shyness. She felt little shy, embarrassed. Avoiding everyone's eyes, she walked quickly to an empty seat and sat down. "May we start now, madam?" the conductor asked, smiling. And then he blew his whistle twice, and the bus moved forward with a roar. It was a new bus. Its outside painted a gleaming, shining white with some green stripes along the sides. Inside, the overhead bars shone like silver. Those steel bars which were above the head, they were shining like silver. Directly in front of Wally, above the windshield, there was a beautiful clock. Above the front screen window, there was a beautiful clock, and the seats were soft and luxurious, comfortable. Wally devoured everything with her eyes. Wally observed all things with her eyes. But when she started to look outside, she found her view cut off by a canvas blind that covered the lower part of her window. When she looked out of the window, tried to look out, she found that there was a canvas blind. Canvas blind means a curtain of canvas, and it had covered the lower part of the window, so he was not able to see outside. So she stood up on her seat and peered off over the blind, looked out over that curtain, standing up on the seat. The bus was now going along the bank of a canal. The road was very narrow. On one side there was the canal, and beyond it, beyond the canal, palm trees, grassland, distant mountains, and the blue sky. On the other side was a deep ditch, and then acres and acres of green fields, green, as far as the eyes could see. Oh, it was so beautiful, it was so all beautiful. Suddenly she was startled by a voice. She was surprised, startled by a voice. Somebody said, "Listen, child," said the voice. "You shouldn't stand like that. Sit down." Sitting down, she looked to see who had spoken. It was an elderly man who had honestly been concerned for her. He was worried about her, but she was annoyed by his attention. She did not like it. "There is nobody here who is a child," she said. Haughtily, proudly, she said. "I have paid my 30 paisa like everyone else. Since I am not a child, don't call me child." The conductor chimed in and said happily, in a happy mood, she said, "Oh, sir, but this is a very grown up madam. Do you think a mere girl could pay her own fare and travel to the city all alone?" Making it a light tone, the conductor said, "Sir, this is a grown up madam." Wali shot an angry glance at the conductor. She looked at conductor angrily and said, "I am not a madam. Please remember that. And you have not yet given me my ticket." "I will remember," the conductor said, mimicking her tone, copying her tone. Everyone laughed, and gradually Wali too joined in the laughter. Wali also joined in laughing. The conductor punched a ticket and handed it to her, gave it to her. "Just sit back and make yourself comfortable. Why should you stand when you have paid for a seat? You have already paid for a seat, so you should sit down. Why should you stand?" "Because I want to," she answered. "I want to stand, that's why I am standing." Standing up again, she said. "But if you stand on the seat, you may fall and hurt yourself when the bus makes a sharp turn or hits a bump. That's why we want you to sit down, child." "I am not a child, I tell you," she said irritably, getting annoyed again. "I am 8 years old." Of course, how stupid of me. 8 years, my God. The bus stopped. Some new passengers got on, and the conductor got busy for some time. Afraid of losing her seat, Wali finally sat down. Some new people were coming, so they may sit there also. So, thinking that, she sat down. An elderly woman came and sat beside her on the same seat. "Are you all alone, dear?" she asked Wali as the bus started again. Wali found woman absolutely repulsive. Wali found that the woman was absolutely hateful, um, just to be disliked. Such big holes she had in her earlobes, and such ugly earrings in them. In the outer part, earlobes are outer part of ear, and so big holes were there, and ugly earrings wearing. And she could smell the betel nut the woman was chewing. The smell of betel nut supari the woman was chewing, and she could see the betel juice that was threatening to spill all over her lips at any moment. Oh, when she could see the juice coming out from her mouth, and It can come out anytime. Oh, it's so ugly. Who could be sociable with such a person? Means who could be friendly with such a hateful person? But she answered, yes, I am traveling alone. She answered very curtly, showing disliking. And I have got a ticket too. Yes, she is on her way to a town, said the conductor, with a 30 paisa ticket. Oh, why don't you mind your own business? Said Wali, said to the conductor. But she laughed all the time, and the conductor laughed too. But the old woman went on with her drivel. The old woman continued with all her useless gossips, useless talks. Is it proper for such a young person to travel alone? Do you know exactly where you are going in town? What is the street? What is the house number? You need not bother about me. I can take care of myself, Wali said. You don't need to worry about me. I can take care of myself, Wali said, turning her face towards a window and staring out and looking out. Okay, this was the second part. This is all for now. We will be completing it in the next part. Okay, that's all. Thank you.